importantly, it's finding out what your highs are, right? So what your success is. That was always my mindset on every single contract too. So every dance contract, every circus contract, I went into it with, right, what skills can I learn? Things like Paris, like fantastic, but my goodness, it's an expensive city. So do you want to work in Paris? That's great, but do you understand it's going to be a financial struggle for some time?
Welcome to the Spotlight series, season 2 of the Showbiz Side Hustle podcast, where each week we meet one of the brilliant co-authors and creatives behind Spotlight on Success, the PerformerPreneur book that's redefining what success looks like both in and out of the showbiz spotlight. I'm your host here, Nicole Louise Geddes, and in these special episodes we learn even more about the stories behind the sequins. Raw, honest, powerful reminders that the end of one act is only the beginning of another. So listen in as we chat challenges and triumphs and inspire you to shine in any spotlight you like. Hello, or should I say roll up, as today's Spotlight series guest is Jessica Hill, circus performer turned circus educator and circus expert, award-winning entrepreneur and founder of Showtime Circus. I cannot wait to explore more of the real-life story behind Jess's Spotlight on Success book collaboration chapter, The Joy of the Journey. Jess is one of the 4 wonderful Spotlight authors who each open up one of the sections inside. Section 1, Journeys to Success, explores the real life stories, both on and off stage, stories of reinvention, redirection, and the brave next steps that unexpectedly unfold. After a globe-trotting career as a dancer and circus performer, Jessica traded center stage for business leadership, building a franchise that now brings the magic of circus to children across the UK. In her chapter, Jess vulnerably opens up about the highs, the hurdles, and the heartache behind it all. Yet we are powerfully reminded that success isn't just about the big moments. It's about embracing every twist and turn and tumble along the way. Let's take our front row seats and welcome the talented, jolly Jess to the spotlight.
Hello, that doesn't sound like me. She sounds awesome.
You are awesome. Isn't it funny, Jess, that you say that? Because even though we have been through this process with Louisa, we've delved into our lives, we've looked at the highs and the lows, and we've come out the other side with this chapter that is our lives, you know, and it's there in black and white that says, holy beep, we are awesome. Yet it's still really tricky for us to fully embrace it. That, my darling, is all you. That opening is you. The chapter is beautifully written. In fact, I'm going to add that it made me cry. Your chapter, my love, is the opening of the co-authors. It opens the book. It's so vulnerable. It's personal. I'm so grateful that you went on that journey and you dared to share it in such a beautiful and poignant way. But I am pleased to say, readers, listeners, go read the book. You'll know what we're talking about. But I am pleased to say that the journey absolutely ends with joy. And you are here today. Big smiles, lots of things to share, lots of memorable moments along the way, all filled with joy. So tell us a little bit about the lows if you choose, but definitely the highs as well.
I think it's most importantly, it's finding out what your highs are, right? So what your success is. And I think this book chapter helped me realize exactly what it is. Because I think my highs now are just getting home. I'm the happiest when I just get home. But I think back in my performing career, it was performing on massive stages, in arenas, in really posh houses, really posh palaces. They were the highs. But now it's like, my happiest is like coming home, being with my husband and my son and my cats. So it's like, this has really helped me find that out. And yeah, it has been a journey of highs and lows. And I think you can't talk about a career without talking about your personal life. And it does say that in the chapter. They are so intertwined that I think it is important to figure out what success is to you, so that you can, and it does pivot, so that you can pivot your life and your career to make sure that you're still striving for what success means to you right then.
I love that. You're absolutely right. And it's just a journey. I mean, we keep saying that, but it's true. And the fact that these successes evolve, that we change, and I agree, the process that we've been through to get to our chapter has just really cemented what it all means, what it meant, what it means now, and what we think it's going to mean in the future. Has the book collaboration process, this cathartic writing down the journey, figuring out the highs of the past, the highs of the future, has it opened your eyes to what you think is next for you?
It's helped me organize my thoughts, and it's come in a really special time in my life because I've just had a little boy who's very nearly one. So it's a very special time in my life where I think I needed it. I really needed that to organize my thoughts, to figure out what's next, and to be with such an incredible group of people who are cheering me on when it's quite a vulnerable time having a baby, I think, especially as a performer, especially as an entrepreneur who runs your own business. It's quite a vulnerable time. And so not only has the book helped me like figure out next steps and what everything is now, it's also helped me with the support of everyone around me as well, which has been really lovely.
It's been a brilliant cohort of co-authors, a group of people that I am not willing to let go of easily. Like, I want to keep us all together. I love the camaraderie. I love the creativity. I love the connection. We can't go through this process, right, without feeling connected, reading each other's chapters, learning about those bits that have been left out, because there's been plenty of stuff that's had to be left out, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I was just thinking about the party. All I could think about when you were talking then was like, yay, I can't wait for the party.
Party.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I mean, it's what I've been working towards. This whole process is like, get me to the champagne and the party. So we're all still kind of very much performers at heart. You say in your chapter, actually, that you were awarded at college the Alcoholic of the Year award. You know, nothing changes.
Nope, can't wait for that. Those bubbles.
So another thing you say in your chapter, and it's a great question, and we've said that your chapter has some really heartfelt, hard things in it to read, but it's also got some great fun in it as well. And you ask the question, is circus my life, or is my life a circus? And it's a fun question, and it shows your sense of humor in amongst all of the ups and downs and the things you've been through. But as a friend, as a co-author, as a mentor, like, we're here, and I know that you're juggling. Like, I know that your life is revolving around circus. One, because that's what your business is in, but also because that juggle's real, right? You've said you're a new mum, you're writing a book, you're building a business, you're franchising businesses. Talk us about that juggle.
Oh, it's hard. I always say, like, it's spinning plates, it's juggling, it's walking on a tightrope, it's keeping your hula hoop going. Like, it's literally all of the circus metaphors. And I think, like, a lot of the juggle, as I said, personal life is so intertwined. A lot of the juggle is because I couldn't teach because of health issues. So I got endometriosis, which I do speak about. So I couldn't teach in person anymore. So that forced me onto a different path, which I actually really enjoyed more. And I love geeking out over the numbers. So then I do that even more. Like, it's like everything is intertwined, and it really is a journey. Because if I'd have just been like, oh, I've got endometriosis, I can't teach anymore, close my business, we're done, that wasn't going to happen. I loved it too much. So it's like, well, how can I still do what I love, but within the limitations of, I had to move away from where I started my business due to a terrible situation at home. So I had to move away from the physical business. Then I physically couldn't teach myself. And it was like that determination of, no, what I've built is not going to just go. I've worked so hard and I love it so much. So, like, what can I do to keep those plates spinning and to keep those balls in the air? And yeah, hopefully, the determination and will pay off, is paying off. It definitely is. I love what I do. So yeah, I would say that that's paying off.
It's 100% paying off. I know it, you know it, and the people reading the chapter, listening and watching the YouTube channel now will see the joy in what you're doing and how you are juggling those balls and spinning those plates. But, let's be honest here. You could have done a simpler, quicker version of this juggle. Yet I think your performer tenacity and, your dedication and drive and determination that you have built this resilience for through the years went and pushed you even further than most. Like, you didn't just hire in more teachers and lead a small, local circus group theatre academy. You went and franchised across the country. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting to. I'm like, this is big time. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
franchising is like brutal at times. But that I was going to say that's thanks to lockdown. So over lockdown, I moved home away from the terrible situation that I was in my personal life. So moved home with my mum and dad, and the NatWest Entrepreneur Accelerator was like a thing you had to go and have interviews for, and you were very lucky if you were selected. And I was selected, and then lockdown hit, and I was like, oh, I'm gutted. But they actually just moved it all online, and that made it so much easier. So then I was sat over that glorious lockdown on the hammock in my mum and dad's back garden with my headphones in, listening to like Dragon's Den people giving me business advice. Like, it was amazing. Like, I made the most of that course, and that's what sort of pushed me into franchising, because I learned about it and someone sparked my interest, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then you've got nothing else to do over lockdown, right? So I literally went down a rabbit hole of, right, how do we do this? And I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly, as every performer always says. So yeah, that's how it started.
It's amazing. That is so inspiring. And I think you're right, having the time through lockdown at any given moment, if you've got time, take it and use it. And you did that in lockdown. I did that in lockdown. Many people did that in lockdown. And, many people didn't have the time in lockdown. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
We are thankful for them doing their jobs and doing what they did through lockdown. But you certainly used your time and fulfilled that and created an empire, created a legacy, Jess.
Yeah, thanks. I will say as well, just because I know the type of people that we are advertising, and hopefully will read this and listen to this, that was always my mindset on every single contract too. So every dance contract, every circus contract, I went into it with, right, what skills can I learn? So I would be on a cruise ship, hula hooping in the cage, making myself a costume on the sewing machine, like entering crew talent show, doing a hula hoop solo, wearing my whole costume that I've made in the cage, just because I'm bored and I need something to learn. And I think as a new dancer going out into the industry, it's so easy to just sit on your phone. And like, if you set yourself that task, actually, what am I going to get good at? It doesn't need to be another random skill like ukulele or, whatever it is that you put your mind to that I decided to do. It could be something useful like how to do your own tax. But I would say, if you are a new performer, have that mindset, go away on a contract, see the world, do what you want to do, and come back with another skill, because it's massively helped me.
Oh my God, that is such good advice. And if it's business skills you want, I'm going to plug PerformerPreneur there. We've got a whole vault of things that are going to help you be more business minded and build that business and future proof yourself. You did that with your business. You future proofed yourself. You came out of the industry and you created something that brought you joy using the skills that you had acquired.
Yeah.
Because you weren't originally a circus performer. Originally, you are very much a dancer in the traditional sense with no extra circus skills. I know right now many performers have got specialty skills, but you were ahead of your time by doing that on these contracts, finding the ways to learn a new skill. And that opened up such doors for you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, I started circus, there was a dancers intensive to learn aerial, and it was round the corner from my house. Like, how lucky is that? And I was like, that looks good. And it was the first one, and she's been running that now for like 15 years. So it was a long time ago that like dancers started doing aerial through, I'm going to say my aerial home because she's phenomenal. She taught me. But she did this dancers intensive specifically for dancers to learn more skills. And my nan gave me money for my birthday that went straight on that course, and off I went to do it. So yeah, I think 15 years or something I've been doing aerial for, which is just crackers.
And you say in the chapter, and you've said as you've been speaking in this pod, that those skills, that journey has took you around the world. It's took you on cruise ships. It's took you to palaces, mansions, you name it. Jess has been there. And the industry supported you through some of those lows as well. You obviously gave it your all and it gave it back to you in support. So are you happy to talk to us about that?
Yes, of course. So I wouldn't be like where I am. I wouldn't be who I am. I don't think none of this would exist if what had happened. So I lost my partner in 2012 to an undiagnosed heart condition. He was in Starlight Express at the time. And I think losing him changed me as a person. It changed my life. Like I was grieving the loss of the life that we had together and the future that we had together, as well as grieving losing him. And we were both at the top of our game. Like were both loving life, really successful performers, just making the most of every day. And I think from me being so happy gave me more jobs and then gave me more sort of respect within the industry. And so then when this happened, my two agents who I worked a lot for were there for me. You know, they questioned, are you ready to come back? Like, we'll do all we can. So I was really grateful to them. And again, I mentioned them, Jen and Emma, in the book. And I was really grateful that they took a chance to have me back. And not only did that, but put my best friends on the job as well to make sure I was okay. And I think without that support, maybe I might not have ever got back into performing, because again, like, what a vulnerable time to have lost somebody that you love. And then you have to put on your fishnets and your tiny leotard and just get out and perform in front of loads of people. Like, that's hard. So grateful to have them around me and to have that support to get back to it.
I said I wasn't going to cry. I said to myself before I started this, like, I'm not going to cry when we go there, because you just, you're so eloquent, you're so beautiful and poised when you speak about it. And it's been such a big part of your life. And I love, love, love that people rallied around you at that time and got you back to doing what you do love, what does bring you joy. And your chapter is called The Joy of the Journey. Joy features very heavily in the chapter, very heavily in your life. And when that joy was taken away from you, you were still able to find snippets of it. And I think it's such a powerful story and a powerful message that regardless of what happens in life, regardless of what happens in what direction, which way you pivot, what people tell you, there's loads of different versions of this throughout the book. Finding the joy to get back to being you is the powerful piece of the book on a whole, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. And just a little note to say, my little boy's middle name is Matthew. So as a nod to Matthew. So that it's carried up, like my partner was Matthew, who passed away, and he's still a massive part of my life. So he still brings me so much joy every time Felix smiles. Like, it's Felix Matthew. So yeah, it is. And it's finding the joy, and yeah, it's making the most of it and not taking it for granted when you do. And every morning do your gratitudes, because when you're grateful, you attract more gratitude. And it really is important to keep doing that and keep the positivity, because positivity breeds positivity, negativity, and I had those people to help me out. I think in the book I say the rungs of the ladder out of the hole with my agents and my friends. And that is so true. Like, without those rungs on that ladder, I'd have been stuck in that hole for a long time, I think. I'm so very, very grateful that I had shimmying around in feathers and sequins as a job to help me out of the hole.
Well, and I bet you still did it so beautifully, and none of the audience would know. And isn't that the crazy thing about showbiz? You paint on your smile, you get out there and you do it. When did the joy for performing fade for you? Because this is what the book is about. It's about saying, hey, look, when it doesn't serve you, when it doesn't bring you joy, when it's not what it used to be, it's okay to evolve, to pivot, to change direction, to try new things. So was there a moment, and many would have thought and expected it to be that moment, but it wasn't. That's the joy that kept you going, actually. So when was that moment of realization that actually I've, changed, outgrown this, whatever, in your own words, when was that and what was that?
So I'm not gonna lie, I still love it, and Felix gets a show every night, whether he likes it or not. But but I think for me it was do you know, I was on stage with Tina Turner, the musical, around Germany. We went around like massive arenas, gorgeous theatres, and I loved every single second of it. And then I would fly home to nothing. I was like a no one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I went from being one of three gorgeous Tina Turner dancers in the theatre to, who's that? Like, minimum wage teaching baby ballet. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think it was the roller coaster that made me go, I need something that's mine. I want something that's mine. I wanted to open a performance school, you know, that's what everyone does, but actually thought, you know what? Why not put all these random circus skills I've learned into one school? And that's what started the circus school. And it was when I was turning 30. So it was, I think everyone has a bit of a crisis. And the school's 7 years old, but that can't be true because I'm only 21. But yeah, so I think it was turning 30, and also just that massive roller coaster that made me go, I need something that's mine. And to be honest, I think if it hadn't have been so successful and so wanted by the kids that came, I perhaps would have carried on. I initially started it as like holiday camps and birthday parties, so I didn't have to commit to anything. So I could still go off and do whatever I wanted. And if I didn't have a performance contract, I could do a party or whatever. That's what it was meant to be. But then you have like 30 kids being like, but please, Jolly Jess, but please, can we do it every week? And you're like, oh, fine. Fine, I'll start a school. And then it's just sort of grown from there.
So it was a side hustle. It was, yeah, just that kind of extra income, that diversifying your skills, using them in a different way, all the things that I tout on about. I don't even know if anyone's listening to me, but I am so passionate about exactly that. What can you do alongside performing that will help give you stability until you need to exit the industry? And that exit can be for any reason. It can be for motherhood, it could be for injury, it could be because actually, you know, you don't want to put the tiny little costume on anymore, you don't feel comfortable in it for whatever reason. But if you build it while you're still performing, it's there to transition into seamlessly.
That is the best advice. Honestly, take that advice, because then as well, like the roller coaster, as I was saying, it isn't so steep. If you've got that layer of stability underneath you from your side hustle, so yeah, that's very good advice. Take it.
Take it and listen, listeners.
Yeah.
We're gonna preach at you now. Take the advice, do the thing, but also know that there's people around you that can support you. And Jess, you are one of those people. When we talk of franchising, people can franchise your school, your idea. They can take that and run with it and be supported by you. I mean, that for those people listening who are, you know, nervous or dubious about doing something on their own is the perfect solution.
I always say like, oh, sorry.
Nope. Talk us through.
I always say, oh, here's my cat joining the conversation. I always say working for yourself, but not by yourself. And I really like that, because I'm literally here to help you every step of the way, but it's still your business. And I like that, you know, you can put your own stamp on it. It's in your own, you can do your own shows, you know, put your own stamp on it completely, but you've got everything you need to go and run with it as a business.
And you did the hard work by setting it all up and knowing what the next person needs. And again, just being that North Star for people so that they know where to go, what to do, what to say, and have that support system. So
that's really lovely as well. And people like the people I've managed to attract are people who will come to me with their wins as well as with their frustrations. I think if I was on this end now and I always just got this, I think I would be like, oh, this franchising isn't for me. It's really hard. But I have a group of, I'm going to say predominantly women. Sorry, Jack. Sorry, Kai. But I'm going to say predominantly women who come to me with their highs as well. And we share the successes, and every positive review gets a little happy dance in our group, you know, like we are genuinely so lovely. And I think it's like the same with the PerformerPreneur group of people and the book collab people. We've got each other's back, and yeah, they come to me with their highs as well as their lows, and obviously I'm here to help them with their lows and any questions and anything, but it's nice to support the wins as well.
I am exactly the same with my clients. We want to celebrate those wins because the wins are the things that keep us moving forward. And you have had plenty of wins. We've read about them, we're hearing about them now. You know, I've been watching them, I can see them. Everyone listening, please do go to the show notes and follow Jess's socials. You know, inside the book, go to the QR code, go and see what she's doing, join the bits that align with you, you know, take note, watch, learn, just surround yourself with with Jess's joy and positivity. And it really is, it's shining through now on the screen as well. And you've been an asset to the book collaboration cohort because you know, you come in, you're excited, you're smiling. I mean, we all are, but it's that you genuinely are Jolly Jess.
That's me. Yep.
Where did the name come from, apart
Do you
from it
know,
was you?
originally it was just I was originally Johnny Mess because I'm a mess and yeah, I am a messy person, I'm not gonna lie. And then I was like, no, people need to take me seriously. It's going to have to be Jolly Jess.
Mum still calls you Jolly Mess, I bet.
Oh yeah, my husband.
So when we're thinking about the book, Jolly Jess, Jolly Mess, I'm going to call you that now. Who would you love the book to be in the hands of? When you wrote it and you were sharing the highs and the lows, the fun, the circus, the juggle, the struggle, when you were writing it, did you have someone in mind that you'd hoped would read it and resonate with it?
Yeah, so at the time, not of writing, I think no, it had finished by then. I used to run a BTEC as part of Showtime Circus. We don't anymore for funding issues. That's all I'm going to say. But I would love for that age group, 16 to 18, that age group to have a copy of the book because I, I think it's such an impressionable age group. And I think you can have all of these like I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, without realizing that actually that's going to have a huge impact on your life, your personal life. So like things like Paris, like fantastic, but my goodness, it's an expensive city. So do you want to work in Paris? That's great, but do you understand it's going to be a financial struggle for some time? Do you want to work on a cruise ship? Yeah, of course, but you are going to be away from your family members for a long time. So it's realizing that your career choices do need to marry in with what you want on a personal level as well. And I do think I say this from I'm more open and happy to talk about it now. I have a son, but you know, it was turning up towards the older end of my 30s and being like, if my performing career, it's been phenomenal. I've loved every single second, but has it stopped? Have I missed the window to have a child, especially with endometriosis? We were told it would never happen for us because of my age. And then that was a real, you know, difficult thing to think about. Like I've had this incredible career, but actually have I missed out on starting a family? And that was so important to me. I sort of wish I'd had it in my life plan. And obviously everything changes and I did have it in my life plan with Matt. That was what we wanted. So everything does change massively. But yeah, to realize, you know, what you pick, what your career goals are, have to marry up to what your life. I've missed so many weddings, I've missed family time, I've missed so much, and I chose that. And now I live a life where I can do anything I want, pretty much. So like now I'm reaping the rewards from it. But are you happy to do all of those things? Do you have a plan in place to make up for it when you're older?
Brilliant. Brilliantly put. And another version of the same message. And that is what I love about the book. Some people have had the West End stages, other people have not. Some people have been injured, other people have had longevity, some people teach, some people don't. It's all so different, but you are absolutely right. The bottom line is whatever direction you do, whatever you do, whoever you become, there's sacrifices to be made and there's highs and there's lows. And are you aware of all of the options and of all the things? Because you'll know 100%. We get told it has to look a certain way. And that's where the book idea came from. I am sick to the back teeth of watching and hearing, and myself included, feeling like this is not success because it is not how I've been told it has to look in our industry. And so it's important for all age groups, but yes, those younger years when they're setting out on this journey, to know all of the options, all of the ideas, and then there can't be a better starting block than that, right? Like we were
Yeah.
aiming for the one thing, and it was like this great big rat race to get there. And now there's options and pivots and turns and twists and that kind of authentic success. Authentic success. What would
Yeah.
you say that feeling of success is? I know you said coming home, but again, the feeling, it's changed. What was it then and what is it now?
Then was definitely have as much fun, get as drunk as we can. That was definitely then. Have the most fun. Oh, we didn't even have Instagram, or so it was again authentic fun. It was just good fun. It wasn't. We weren't posing on the palace mansion steps for a good Insta photo. We were posing because we were having loads of fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I like that. But now success, I think for me is um, like pretty much every training opportunity. Whenever I've got franchise training, I'm like, oh, I can turn it into a holiday. And off I go with my mum and my husband or whoever's coming to mind the bab whilst I'm doing the training. So like we've got holidays in Scotland, Exeter, you know, be asking to go and adjudicate for the Dance World Cup and then being like, oh, mum, do you want to come with me and we'll stay for an extra day? That's success, I think, instead of being like, oh, I can't come, I'm tied to this job that I don't like doing. It's like, oh yeah, let me just move a few things around. Should we stay for an extra day? Yeah, why not? Okay, you know, it's that's the freedom, the flexibility to do, and it works. It's around work. I'm not at a point where I don't have to work. I don't think I'll ever be at that point. You know, we all have to work hard, but it's that flexibility to be like, oh, we've got training in Scotland. Great, let's go 2 days early. Let's do it. Do you want to come? Yeah, off we go. Fine, off we go. So it's that's success to me.
I feel like that is still fun. That's the
Yeah,
word. So it was fun
yeah,
then and it's fun now. It sounds bloody fun. I want to come.
yeah. I'll let you know next time.
And let's bring it out to Oman. Let's have fun. Um, it's been a brilliant process, and it is the first of two books. I have a plan to bring a second one out because I think there's even more stories to be told. Well, there is. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Everyone's got their individual journey and story, and that everyone, you know, deserves to share it. And if I can be that person that gets more people to feel successful, because of the experience that we go on together, to delve to deep, to go deep, to think, to be cathartic, to take time. So yes, so there we go, listeners. There is an opportunity. It's going to be application only next time because I think it's
Oh, I love it.
inundated. This first one was invitation only. I was like, right, who can I see? And obviously you were top of that list. But what would you say to anybody considering this process?
Oh, I would say definitely like you learn so much about yourself from doing it. And if you need to get your ducks in a row, even if they are doing handstands, which I think are right in the book, then it's fantastic. I think to have that support as well. And also to just be able to be like, oh yeah, I've got a book coming out. Everyone's like, I'm sorry, what? Like the amount of friends that are like, can I come to your book launch? I'm like, yeah. It's just brilliant. And to be able to say, like, people always have said to me, you should write a book. And I'm like, well, I'm in a chapter in a book. How cool is that? Like, how awesome is that? You don't get the chance to say that or do that or be that. So do it.
Yeah, fabulous. You know, and it's that same thing that you spoke about in your chapter. Things will turn up at the right time, the right energy, the right people, and you'll just feel aligned. I, for one, am so glad that you catapulted your way, backflipped into the book, brought all of your mess with you. I'm not going to let you live that one down. All of your joy with you into the process. And I agree. Anyone that's thinking of doing it in round two, please step forward because it helps with business messaging, it helps with personal clarity, it helps with direction. And we're seeing that and the ripples. And as for the party, like we said earlier, I cannot wait to be in person and all be together celebrating the success of Spotlight on Success. Jess, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I feel like there's so much more I could ask you and say. What's the legacy of this podcast, this book? In fact, I have got a question. You wrote the book so brilliantly, and it is only 5,000 words, and there is more to your story. Do you think there'll ever be a bigger, longer version of Jess and the story?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think it was like for you to get me to talk about myself like that, like it's like I don't do that. Like I'm not. But I have to say, like my husband is a very good writer, so not that he helped me, but he helped.
Collaborative.
So I think he is very much like you should tell more, especially as franchising is a massive part of my life, but also becoming like a personal brand. People know who I am, doing my elite training, all of those elements, like the podcast, the book definitely go with that. And if that grows how I'm hoping it's going to grow and all of that, then yeah, maybe. But I mean, I wouldn't have you guys behind me, so it won't be as good.
You will have me absolutely behind you, cheering you on every step of the way. You can't get rid of me that easily. We are now bound together for life through the Spotlight on Success book collaboration, and no one wants you to disappear, but we definitely do want to read more of your story. Jess, you've been an absolute joy. Thank you for joining the book collaboration. Thank you for speaking so openly on the podcast. There is definitely more of you that we all want to see and hear from. So go check out Jess's socials, website, how to work with her, how to franchise through her, and all of the new exciting things that are coming your way too, Jess. Good luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There you have it. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Spotlight series, where stories shine and success gets redefined. If you loved what you heard, hit like, follow, or subscribe. And be sure to grab your copy of Spotlight on Success over on Amazon. And don't forget to tag us at PerformerPreneur across all socials. If you've been inspired today to step into a new spotlight, you can find a whole community ready to support you at performerpreneur.co.uk, as well as up-and-coming events and even more about each author. Until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and continue to shine.